does that old saying go? There's only 3 great cities in the United States: New York, San Francisco, and New Orleans. The rest is just Cleveland. I think that quote is originally attributed to Tennessee Williams. I'm not really sure where it exactly comes from because there are a lot of variations of it that come even before his time. More often than not, though, they include those 3 cities. I don't necessarily know how much I agree with the quote. I think that every city that I've ever been to, at least, always has something that's really unique and awesome about it that makes it special from everywhere else. That being said, I do understand where it comes from in the sense that San Francisco, New York City, New Orleans are these places that are very, very culturally different. Folks come to these places from other parts of the world, other parts of the United States, and I guess they maybe experience more of a culture shock because there's just such a diverse, crazy atmosphere at all of them that make them special. So maybe that's why those are the cities that are named that way. Either way, I like all the places that I go to, and it includes Cleveland. The surf can get really good here in the wintertime on a northwest swell. I've always dreamed of surfing Fort Point, but it's not going to happen until I come back here when it's a lot colder and later in the year. By the time you guys will see this video, it'll be Tuesday, so that means it's time for Works the same way as always. Post your questions below. I'll pick out a handful of them and answer them as part of the Q&A section of the next vlog that appears next Tuesday. Let's get started, guys. Roadside Rick, how did you anchor down your bed and cabinet so it doesn't shift when moving? It's not really anchored down at all. It's not bolted to the frame or anything like that, but I did design it so that it fits really snug in here, especially in the back. I kind of angled the 2x4s so that they fit against the plastic trim in the back. If you're familiar with the Element, you'll know that there's like little storage compartments in both sides on the back, and I designed it so the 2x4s were angled with that so they really can't move at all. It's pretty much impossible. They might move a little bit here and there, but they don't really move too much. Alto Same, or Same, Alto Same. Great videos, thank you. Do you use high mileage oil for your car? I do not use high mileage oil in the Element. I just use a standard 5W20. Jules McDowell, huge fan of your vlog. I'm also a fellow Element owner and a car camper, and I live in the Lake Arrowhead area. I hope you had an awesome time in the mountain. Yeah, it was really cool checking it out there. It was really beautiful. Question, from your experience, what are the easiest ways to make some kind of income while van or camper living? That's a good question, and there's really no easy answer to that question. There's really no easy way to do it. For me, I think probably the best way is to just travel and do seasonal jobs and save up money, and then you get to see all over different parts of the country, and then you also get to have like a steady source of income every so many months. You work for a couple months here, then you move to the next place, and you move to the next place, and that kind of thing. Those are generally easy to acquire, especially when you're like thinking like the sugar beet harvest, things like that, because there's such a demand for labor up there, especially in that time of year with the whole harvest going on, that it's pretty easy at least to acquire that position, and then if you do a good job, you can come back every year and you can make a good amount of money. And it's things like that I think are probably the easiest. But that being said, I mean, talking about like earning money online and things like that, it takes time, and it's something that I still haven't even come close to mastering. I'm not even quite there yet, and hoping that eventually I will be, but it certainly isn't easy to do. Next question is from Annie. They say, which inverter do you use and would you recommend it? I have just like a Schumacher inverter. I really don't run an inverter in my system. It's pretty much entirely 12 volt. But that being said, I do have a cheap Schumacher inverter that I got from Walmart for 20 bucks, and I basically use it for like an electric razor to power that up, and then if I need to shave, I use that. But that's really the only thing that I ever really plug into there. For the most part, I use everything else 12 volt. Devin McGetrick, when are you going to be in Boston, Massachusetts? Would love to meet up. I should be back in the Boston area probably like middle of September or so. And yeah, I've got a couple of folks that have sent me messages saying they want to try to meet up in Boston, so I'd be happy to do that. J-Dog, love the channel. Thank you. What company did you use for your logo decal? Ever think about going to Key West? The logo decal, I believe I used stickermule.com to print out the logos there. I still have a couple of them left if any of you guys want stickers. They're available on my website. And then ever think about going to Key West? I have never been to Key West. Actually, I have. I've been when I was younger. When I was like a little kid, I think I took like a family vacation and we went to that area for a little while. But I haven't been in the element there yet. But at some point, maybe in the wintertime, it'd be cool to go down there and check it out for a little while. The surf doesn't get very good in that part of Florida, so whenever I go to Florida, I don't find myself going that far south just because it doesn't really get very good. But yeah, it'd be cool to check it out for a little while, definitely. And the last one here is from Run No More. Have you ever stayed in an RV park in your element? I camp out of an SUV, and I'm curious how RV parks react to SUVs as opposed to typical RVs. Yeah, I have a little bit of a story with that one. So I have stayed in an RV park one time. When I did the beet harvest in North Dakota last year, I had the opportunity to have a free campsite. That's part of the deal. You know, they pay for your campsite, and you get to use that, and you get all hookups and all that, which was great there because I had an electric space heater that I could use, and it wasn't freezing cold at night and stuff like that. But yeah, the reaction was not good. I actually had problems with the SUV. It's kind of weird, you know, you're driving through, you see all these big fifth wheels and these monster RVs and all this, and then all of a sudden you see a Honda Element, you know, just parked right in the middle. And, you know, there were issues. The park ranger came along, I think the second day that I was there, and like they were trying to figure out why I was there and how I got approved, and they almost, you know, they talked about maybe moving me and all these things. And so it's interesting. Eventually everyone just kind of got over it and there was no problem and it was fine because, like I said, there's such a demand for labor that they're really, you know, eventually they have to realize that they just need people to work, you know. But yeah, it definitely sticks out for sure. So I've actually been in San Francisco for a couple of days now. On Friday, I ended up meeting up with a subscriber and hanging out with him pretty much for the most of the afternoon and evening and meeting some of his friends, and it was a lot of fun. And then yesterday we had the first ever Element Van Life meetup, which also went really well. A handful of folks ended up showing up for the meetup, and we just kind of hung out and took it easy at Golden Gate Park, and then we walked around a little bit and grabbed a cup of coffee. It was pretty cold outside. The weather here has been very cloudy and dreary and pretty cold, not really what I'm used to, but it was still a lot of fun hanging out and getting the chance to meet everybody. Some folks even came in from like 30-40 minutes away, so thank you guys for those of you who came out. It was really an honor to get the chance to meet all of you. I didn't really take too much footage of the whole thing. I really just wanted to focus on hanging out and really getting to know everybody who took the time to come out and stop by. I will say that Kitty's pet pig Kevin was probably one of the highlights of the whole day. He definitely kind of stole the show a little bit. He was really awesome, and getting the chance to meet a pig, I'd never really been that close to one before. I had the chance to pet one or anything like that, so it was really, really awesome to see him and hang out with him. Thank you again to everybody who took the time to come out. I'd say overall the event was probably a success, so I'd really like to do some more of those when I go to some bigger cities in the future. I have a feeling this might be my last In-N-Out burger before heading out of California. Goodbye, In-N-Out. Thanks for watching, guys. The plan is to hang out here in San Francisco for a couple more days and then start making my way east. I'll talk to y'all in the next video.